fabulous Confessions of a Paper Addict fans. It is Jess here, and I have got a design team layout coming at you today. I'm starting off with a piece of Reject Shop / Rosie Studio paper, and I am using the super cute Witch Please cut file from the Etsy shop, which I will of course pop in the description box and link down below. So I've got some gesso, and I'm using one of those Novo silicone spatulas to spread this on. I'm really quite pleased with these spatulas. I just got them recently in my advent calendar from Katie, and the reason why I like them is because they're silicone, they've got that flexibility to them. They've got a little bit of bending and a little bit of give. So when I'm brushing them back and forth, just like with a brush, the brush actually, or the silicone end actually sort of moves and is flexible as I'm painting on my gesso. So I'm just popping that in all the different sections of my cut file just to make sure it's all covered, and you can definitely see my cut file popping up off the page through this background. Now, we've mentioned before that this particular paper is quite thin, so I will be going ahead as well later on and adhering it to another 12 by 12 piece of paper just to make sure it doesn't warp too much and has a little bit more strength behind it. So now I'm using the same spatula and coming in with some Vicky Bouton Iridescent Glaze and this darkroom door stencil that, as you can see, is a bit of a brick wall. Quite loving this stencil at the moment, and I'm just really messy putting this on. In my opinion, using the silicone spatula with the iridescent glaze through a stencil was not super effective for full coverage, but for the coverage I wanted, the look I was going for, it was absolutely spot on perfect. It was really bitsy. It sort of worked really well in one chunk, and then that was about it, which was absolutely perfect for this particular look that I was trying to do in my background. I've then let that dry. I hit it a little bit with the heat gun, but I was conscious of the paper warping even more. So I've let that dry, and then I've got some Heidi Swap Color Shine in, can't remember what this green is called, but in this bright green. And I'm going to put a little bit of that through the stencil as well. And I have to be super careful with not getting too much liquid onto my brush. Had a little bit of a spill there, but you can see that I'm really getting rid of as much liquid as I can and just keeping it really light on my brush, because I do want to sort of see this same stencil effect coming back through. I don't just want to end up with a splotch of green in the background, which is likely to happen if I have too much liquid on my brush. You won't actually see that it's through a stencil at all. So once that is all done, I've let that all dry, and now I'm looking at sort of bulking up the weight of this paper because I'm super conscious of how thin this background paper is. So I'm distressing the edges using my paper distresser, but you can absolutely just use scissors. I kind of vary if I use scissors or if I use my distressing tool, just depends what mood I'm in. I do find when using scissors you can sometimes get a full tear happen in your distressing, whereas with the paper distresser that doesn't often happen. And I've just stuck it straight onto a 12 by 12 paper. So you can sort of see that there's some paper underneath those distressed edges, but not too much. But it definitely just adds some weight to that paper because the Rosie Studio paper is quite thin. So I've already pre-stuck some foam onto the back of my cut file and left that to dry. And now I'm adding all of my glue so that I can stick my cut file down onto my page. Absolutely love this cut file. It was originally released in October as a Halloween cut file, but I'm actually going to be using it for a slightly different purpose to Halloween. So you will see in a moment when I bring out my photo. So that is all on and all glued down. And now I've got my photo, which again, I've popped some foam onto. And I'm going to pop that up. Actually, no, I leave my photo flat. My photo is flat. So you can see here it is for the musical Wicked. So back in 2014, I went to see Wicked in Australia. which I absolutely loved. I think I saw it 3 times. And I just decided I would document going to see it using this super cute cut file. And I backed it in a super simple way, just all one piece of pattern paper to do the witch please. I really loved the greens and I liked the little pops of pink to go with Glinda. So you got your green for your alpha bow and you've got your pink for your Glinda. So I thought that was super cool. And then I actually the back side of that paper is a wood grain. So I actually used the wood grain to back the broom, and then I just got some black from my stash to back the hat. So perfect. And all the embellishments that I'm sticking on, they are from a Stampin' Up collection, I believe, that I borrowed off my sister. It's the only Halloweenish feeling collection between the two of us that we have. So her. So my 2 Halloween themed layouts this year and last year really, and Katie's one as well, is all just using this same collection. But I really love how it comes together on the page, and so super simple, just layering up all those little potion bottles and those super cute frames with those characters in. I love that. And I fussy cut that witch's castle from a pattern piece of paper from the collection as well. So very nice. And then once that's all down and all done, you can just sort of see in the background all that mixed media popping through, which I think is just a really nice effect in the background, and sprinkling on some gold splatters. It obviously doesn't need a title because Witch Please is my title. And look at how striking that is. I think it just came together really well. That paper for Witch Please was not one of my favourite papers, so using it like this was just perfect because it really had the perfect colours for this collection and this layout. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check that description box down below, and I will link you through to the Etsy shop as well as the Facebook group for Confessions of a Paper Addict. I can't wait to see you all next time. Thank you, everyone.